As I break through these thoughts, they create a beautiful pattern. The feelings flow through my bones, and all of a sudden, all it becomes is matter. From my fingertips to my brain, all of a sudden, I thought long and hard on the pain. Here comes the pain. From a young age, I was led to believe I was crazy. Sometimes to me, I think that's what inhumane means, or just plain lazy. Instead of you trying to understand, we judge and assume, but when you assume, that's about the worst crime it consumes. All it is about unwinding this fucked up paradigm. I mean, isn't that why we're here, after all, is to dispel time? To arrive in the right amount of time and not be whole all the time, but just to show up in pieces because we're so consumed by wasting time? That seems to be the checkout line. But me, myself, I'm in the self-checkout line, checking myself out. To me, that's not a waste of time, because if this was all planned, I'm coming down out of this mountain like a UFO crash land. But this time, since I'm only in dreamland, you couldn't hit me with your big brother hand. And I got crop circles running around in my head, light circles running around in my head like circles, running around in the air like pre-circa. Over and over, I'm in my head, the thought pulls. Sometimes I feel like I'm Alice in Wonderland, trapped in dreamland. It's no wonder the UFO did land, or maybe it was Dorothy, I'm not sure. I feel like I'm not in Kansas anymore, something more pure. Somehow I feel like this all means something more. Maybe it's timely manners to show appropriate emotions more. Maybe that's what it means by having all the daily devotions, and that's all I'm thinking about right now in this free motion. I'm thinking of the oceans and the notions of the motions in the sea, and somehow I just can't let that be. So I write at 2:45. And I sit here and I wait as the culture flows, and it is of no debate. Deep in my bones, that brings me to the head of this debate. That the truth is, I got a lot of enemies and friends telling me what to do and their advice in the ends. But my advice is this. You don't want to hear the shit up in my head. I don't want to hear the half of it. Sometimes I wish I was dead. Up inside my DNA, I feel like I got a lot of shit to say. They pushed my meds. Illuminate or Illuminati, however you want to look at the plot twist, it's the damn feds. Life has two sides and your brain has two sides, so let that be said. Just because you didn't see it doesn't mean it didn't happen or exist. That's sad. Speak up or forever silence your breed. Survival of the fittest isn't going to breed love. It's a spiritual hunger game. Indeed, breeds love. But with GMO, let's just keep them dumb as their plead, so that way we can keep the money in our hands, and when they try to turn, we'll keep their mouths shut. Damn. By scaring them and torturing them, giving them fear, raping the women to keep them powerless, so much without even a tear. Imprinting us into what your life should look like. Instilling your hatred from the get-go. Nothing will make it right. That defines a decade-long journey for finding a higher calling. And that is my calling. I got that shit on speed dial. Like my brain, it's on speed. Can you dial? I got fingertips out the eye tips and brains out my right breast, but my lane still stays the same, and I'm on this highway. We're on the highest seat in your way, the best, and that's the way of life. Isn't that what you say? Stepping on humans as stones to get somewhere else? What did you say? You think I'm on a high horse. You might think I'm on a high horse, but that's fine. That's not what they say. I'll turn your backslidden Christianity into a pity party when the town discovers your lies. The whole church will collapse at the thought of the robbery right in front of your eyes. So let's hope the real stays real and the rest shall be the rest, and then we'll turn our futures into something of the best. And that's the best part, is that futuristically, that something shall be the rest. And the town shall discover the hidden meaning to life, the corroboree of the camaraderie. And if they haven't found it already, maybe this is just validation for you. But let the games begin already.